All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother, Chief Priest Alazar Wanoya, aka the Guerrilla Hebrew.
It's brother Hassan.
And we'll be joined briefly by my esteemed colleague, Deacon Hakai Gawayam. We want to go into a very, very powerful lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai this evening. For what we call Free Smoke Friday. It's very deep, powerful, and edifying. I hope the nation is, truly contributed to through the Spirit by the lesson that we plan to present tonight. Before we get into the lesson, of course, got to get this plug off. The 12th MASHARAH YASHARAHLA Hebrew Summit is going down in Atlanta, Georgia, in 6 days now. Next Thursday, January the 24th, until next Sunday, January the 27th, is going down to Atlanta, Georgia. On the 24th, we'll be doing a meet and greet at 530 Piedmont Avenue, starting at 5 p.m. Friday the 25th, we'll be doing camp at 5 Points, starting at 5 p.m. Saturday the 26th, we'll be doing a Sabbath service and summit at 879 Ralph David Abernathy, starting at noon. And then on Sunday the 27th, to finish it out, we'll be doing the family cookout at Star Park there in Forest Park, Georgia, starting at 1 p.m. All right, so that's the chain of events through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, how we're getting ready to do it for this powerful, powerful summit. Again, it's the 12th. This is another one of the milestone summits. And I'm just, humbled that ourselves here at SICARRI, along with HOI and Yahweh's Camp, along with all the MASHARAH YASHARAHLA, are enabled through the spirit to host such a monumental event, the 12th MASHARAH YASHARAHLA Hebrew Summit, and we're hoping for this to be the biggest. What do we mean by biggest? The most brothers, the most different camps, and the most unity and togetherness that Israel has seen, man. That's what we want to keep doing, and that's the purpose of these summits, to show the togetherness and unity of Yasharahla, man. And us furthering and getting deeper into our culture, getting closer to where we fell from, okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So I'd like to thank and give a special salutations to everyone in the building this evening. Again, we want to go through a very powerful and monumental class. Again, just take a look at the title, the Ark of the Covenant Found. The Ark of the Covenant is one of the most sacred things in our culture. It's one of the most sacred things spoken about in the Bible, right? On top of that, it's something that's shrouded in mystery, because it's something that people have debated over the course of time as to where it is. Where is it? Where is this Ark of the Covenant? Right? So we want to go through all of this tonight through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And we want to start with fundamental scriptures that establish the importance and the significance and the symbolism of the Ark of the Covenant. That's what has to be understood tonight, man. All right. So I want to take a look at a recreation real quick of the Ark, so we could just familiarize people with what this object looked like. This very sacred object the Most High commanded us to have. So here is, a digital art recreation of the Ark of the Covenant pursuant to how it is described, and the instructions made for the construction of it that are seen in the Torah. So yeah, this is a recreation of the Ark of the Covenant, so you guys get an understanding of how it looked. It was about 3.5 feet long, 1.5 feet tall, and 1.5 feet wide. And this is very important. And what we're going to do to lay the foundation through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai for this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to give y'all some insight on the Ark of the Covenant and what it was. So let's start real quick. Let's start in Exodus 25, Hassan Karab, and start at verse 10.
Okay. This is the book of Exodus chapter 25 and verse 10. It says, and they shall make an ark of shittim wood.
Of what?
Of shittim wood.
Of shittim wood, read on.
2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof.
Read on.
And a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And a cubit and a half the height thereof.
That's right. So here we have an ark that's made of shittim wood. Okay, this is important to understand. That is made of shittim wood. And I'm going to show you guys because we have to understand that we're dealing with the temple science, as we call it. So there are allegorical meanings to literal things that we see talked about in Torah, right? So it says there should be an ark of shittim wood. What I want to go to is the importance and the symbology through the Spirit of what shittim wood is actually representing. So we can just understand what the Ark of the Covenant represents, right? So here we have, this is Strong's 87848, right? This is shittim wood, right? Which is really acacia wood from an acacia tree, right? So you can understand. So let's take this back now. Let's take this etymologically back here in the Hebrew, and we get the Hebrew word shatah, right? Strong's H7847, a very previous word, right? Showing you the morphology of the word. And it means to turn aside, go aside, turn, decline. So symbolically, what acacia wood represents is turning aside, going aside, right? Something to that effect. So now we'll go here to one of the scriptures that this Hebrew word is used in, which is Numbers 5 and 12. And it reads, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, if any man's wife rather, go aside and commit a trespass against him. So a man's wife going aside and committing a trespass. We know contextually what that's dealing with is adultery, right? So now get for me, Hassan, Deuteronomy 28 and 14 real quick, right? So we know that this shittim wood is giving us the connotation of turning aside, right? So let's take a look at what turning aside is. Read.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 14. And thou shalt not go aside.
And thou shalt not what?
Go aside.
Go aside from what?
From any of the words which I command thee this day.
You see that we shall not go aside from any of the commandments of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? So that's what this shittim wood is actually synonymous with. Going aside from the commandments of the Most High, right? Get Jeremiah 3, 8 to 9. So we could further see what going aside is, because it's like this particular word, if you take a look at all of its usage, it's almost always in reference to adultery, right? Especially here in Numbers 5, 12, 19, and 20. Going aside, like a man's wife who goeth aside to commit adultery. So that's what this shittim wood is symbolic of, adultery, right? So read.
This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery.
So Israel committed adultery. Read.
I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce.
Read on.
Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
Read on. So written pray the harlot. Read on.
It says, and it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the lands and committed adultery with stones and with stocks.
You see that? So how does Israel commit adultery? With stones and with stocks. Wait a minute. What are stocks made out of? Wood. That's funny. But it's showing you that what the wood is representing is idolatry, is adultery, is going aside from God, is going aside from the commandments. So what it's all symbolic of. This is why it's constructed out of this very specific shittim wood. And so are various other vessels that we see that are holy, right? So y'all just got to follow and understand. So now what we're going to do is take it back to the full root etymologically of the word shittim wood, and it's shat, right? Shat, right? And it means swerver, revolver, rebel, deeds that swerve. So here we have somebody swerving, rebelling, revolting against what? Against the Most High. So that wood that this ark is actually constructed of is symbolic again of going aside or rebellion against the Most High, idolatry or adultery against the Most High, right? But now let's read verse 11.
Jeremiah 3.
Because now you may be asking yourself the question, well, if that's what it means, why is one of the most holy things that we read about in the Bible being made out of this, if that's symbolically what it points towards? we have to keep reading. So read 11.
Sounds Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
It says, and Yahweh said unto me, the backsliding Israel have justified herself more than treacherous Judah.
Mm-hmm. No. Exodus. I need you to get Exodus 25 and 11.
Okay. This is Exodus chapter 25, verse 11. It says, and thou shalt overlay it with pure gold.
Thou shalt overlay it with what?
Pure gold.
It's now overlaid with pure gold. So you take this wood that is symbolic of sin and going aside from the Most High, and you overlay it with pure gold. Read on.
With pure gold, within and without.
That's right, within and with, inside and out, not just outside, inside and out. This vessel is now overlaid in pure gold. Read on.
Shalt thou overlay it, and shall make upon it a crown of gold round about.
Hold on real quick. I'll show y'all this again so y'all can understand. So the crown of gold is, as we can see here, this like upper part, right? Read.
This on verse 11.
Okay, so it says, he shall overlay this wood that symbolizes sin in gold. So what does that symbolize, right? Proverbs 25 and 11. Read 11 and 12. So we can understand what it is to take this wood that is symbolic of going aside, sin, etc., and it being overlaid in pure gold, right? So read.
This is Proverbs chapter 25, verse 11. A word fitly spoken is like apples is like apples of gold.
A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold. Read on.
In pictures of silver. As an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold.
Read on.
So is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear.
You see that? So that wisdom is being likened to that gold, right? Now let's go to Proverbs 17 and 3. So basically, we're taking something sinful, which is that wood, and we're overlaying it with wisdom. So this Ark of the Covenant is essentially a metaphor for us individually. Why? Because we were that sinful wood. We were that rebellious, revolting wood that went aside from the commandments of God, committed spiritual fornication against our God through idolatry. And now we've been overlaid with gold through the wisdom. See? So that's what it's symbolic of in the spirit. That's why the Most High tells us to take the shittim wood and overlay it with gold. All of these things are very divisive, but he's not just telling us these things just to do it. They are teaching us lessons. And if we simply would dig deeper into them, we would understand the layers of the lessons that are being taught to us. You may read Exodus 25 and just think, well, what the hell does that have to do with me? I'm in this time, I'm not building an Ark of a Covenant. But you're not realizing in the subtext, there's a very important lesson that's there. Right. So go ahead. Proverbs 17 and 3.
This is Proverbs chapter 17, verse 3. It says, the fining pot is for silver.
The fining pot is for silver. Read on.
And the furnace for gold.
So we have a fining pot and a furnace that tries gold and silver, precious metals. Right. Read.
But Yahweh trieth the hearts.
But the Most High trieth the hearts. Right. So now Job 23 and 10. Right. So we know that wisdom is like gold, and we know that the Most High tries men like a furnace tries gold, right? So that's the metaphor. Now let's go here to Job 23 and 10.
This is Job chapter 23, verse 10. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold.
See that when the Most High tries you, if you're righteous, you come forth as gold. So this is about obtaining wisdom. This is about passing the trial that the Most High God is going to take you through. That's what it means to take that sinful wood and overlay it with gold. Right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hands of God.
Right. The souls of the righteous are in the hands of the Most High. Right. Go ahead.
And there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die. And their departure is taken for misery. And they're going forth, and they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For the Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself.
That's right. The Most High proved them. He tried them and found them worthy. Read on.
As gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering.
That's right. He tried righteous men as gold in the furnace and received them as a burnt offering. So that's what this gold overlaying in the wood is symbolic of, going through this trial, being counted righteous and worthy by God, right? He does this again with several of the holy vessels. And we are vessels, aren't we? Aren't we the holy vessels also? So this is the metaphysical meaning behind the actual instructions that he gave us to construct some of these things, man. Right? Go ahead.
Listen on that.
Listen on 8, James 1 and 12. Right now, also, matter of fact, get Exodus 25 and 11 again. Read that one more time, then we're going to hit James 1 and 12. Okay. Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 25. This is Exodus chapter 25, verse 11. It says, and thou shalt overlay it with pure gold.
You shall overlay it with pure gold. Read on.
Within and without shalt thou overlay it.
Read on.
And shall make upon it a crown.
A what?
A crown.
This part is the crown part here. Okay, so y'all can see it. This is the crown. Read on.
A crown of gold round about.
So take this wood that symbolizes sin. Overlay it with precious gold, which symbolizes wisdom and righteousness. Then give it a crown. James 1 and 12.
This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. It says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation. For when he is tried.
When he is what?
Tried.
When he is tried, that trial. Now, we've been reading about this trial being tried, coming forth as gold by the Most High. Read.
He shall receive the crown of life.
He shall receive a crown. See that? He shall receive a crown the same way you were wood. Then you became wise, you became righteous, and then ultimately the goal is to receive a crown the same way this ark is constructed. The exact same way. 1 Peter 5 and 4.
There's a book of 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 4. It says, and when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory.
That's right. When the chief shepherd shall appear, you shall receive a crown of glory. The chief shepherd, of course, is Hamashiach Yahushua. He's going to be there to pass the crowns out. 2 Ezra 2 and 43. The chief shepherd now. Go ahead.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 2, verse 43. It says, and in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature.
Read on.
Taller than all the rest.
Hamashiach Yahushua. Read.
And upon every one of their heads, he set crowns.
Oh, he said what?
Crowns.
Crowns. Go ahead.
And was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
That's right. The chief shepherd is coming to hand out crowns. The chief shepherd, rather, is coming to hand out crowns to all those who come through their trial as gold. See that? So it's all metaphysically alluding to us, as well as all the holy vessels, right? So now let's go back to Exodus 25, read 12 to 16, right? So we're going into the greater metaphorical meanings behind that, the temple science of it. Let's just go into the rest of the instructions for the building of it. Go ahead.
This is Exodus chapter 25, verse 12. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof.
As we can see, these are the rings there because you had to put the pole through the rings, right? Read.
And 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it.
Read on.
And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them.
May be borne, right? By bear the ark, right? So these are the staves, which are the legs of it. You see what I'm saying? So it can stand up. Go ahead.
The staves shall be in the rings of the ark. They shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee.
The testimony. So the laws are put into the ark. Read.
That's it on 16.
Okay, so what's in the ark is the laws now. Let's go to Exodus 25 and 21. Hit 25 and 21.
Exodus chapter 25, verse 21. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee.
So you shall put the testimony in it again. So it's reiterating, right? The mercy seat is put on top of the ark, but then we have the testimony that's put in the ark. So I want to show y'all something, right? Here is the word for ark. Strong's H727. Arawan. quick question for the chat. Ask the chat real quick. Take a look in the chat for me.
Okay.
Chat, does Arawan sound familiar to anybody?
Aaron.
Sound like Aaron, right? So this is the word for ark. It means chest, ark, money chest, ark of the covenant, or coffin, right? But Aaron, Arawan, right? It sounds like Aaron, right? So let's take a look at Aaron real quick in the Hebrew, which is Strong's H175. And it's Aharawan, literally just adding a ha. Same word. Same word. And then these idiots, see, this is why you can't always trust the Strongs of uncertain derivation. It's the same word, just with a ha in it. Arawan. What does this let us know? That Aaron is, as a human being, the physical manifestation of the ark. Right? Let's go into that though. Let's get Exodus 4 and 30.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 4.
He's that holy vessel. Go ahead.
In verse 30. It says, and Aaron spake all the words which Yahweh had spoken unto Moses, and did the signs in the sight of the people. So he spoke all the words. So all the words that Yahweh spoke went into Aaron. The same way the testimony, the words that Yahweh spoke, went into the Ark of the Covenant. See what I'm saying? That was 4 and 30. Okay, give me Exodus 30 and 6. So we can show you the parallels between the Ark of the Covenant and Aaron himself. The Arawan and the Aharawan, right? Read. This is Exodus chapter 30, verse 6. And thou shalt put it before the veil that is by the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet with thee. Right.
So God met with Israel at the Ark of the Covenant, right? So now give me 28 and 30, still in Exodus.
This is Exodus chapter 28, verse 30. It says, and thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before Yahweh.
Right. So Aaron will walk around with the Urim and the Thummim on. You see what I'm saying? How would the Most High would speak to Aaron through Urim and Thummim? Right. So he met Israel through Aaron. Also, the same way he meets Israel through the ark. And then all of Aaron's successors are met the same way. So a high priest acts as the literal physical holy vessel of the Ark of the Covenant. Right. Let's go to Salakia, 1 Samuel 28 and 6.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 28, and verse 6. It says, and when Saul inquired of Yahweh, the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets.
You see that? Nor by Urim. The Urim is a way that the Most High speaks to people. You meet the Most High, communicates messages, right? So through that Urim, that Aaron bore, the Most High would speak to Israel the same way the Most High spoke to Israel at the ark. So Aaron is in of himself was like a mobile human Ark of the Covenant, and so was every high priest that followed him. You got a point?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay, give me Joshua 3 and 3.
This is Joshua chapter 3, verse 3. Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Zidonians and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal-Hermon unto the entering of Hamath. My fault, bro. That's Judges. I'm sorry. Okay. That's my fault.
You're all right.
This is Joshua, Salakia, chapter 3, verse 3. It says, and they commanded the people, saying, when ye see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your God, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then ye shall remove from your place and go after it.
Salakia, read that again.
This is Joshua chapter 3, verse 3. And they commanded the people, saying, when you see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your God, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then you shall remove from your place and go after it.
Right, follow it, right? So now get that was it on that? Get Numbers 3 and 9.
Numbers chapter 3, verse 9. It says, and thou shalt give the Levites unto Aaron and to his sons. They are wholly given unto him out of the children of Israel.
Right. So they were given. The Levites were given to Aaron to serve for him. The same way that the Levites bore the Ark of the Covenant, we walked around and essentially carried it on our shoulders. The same way the rest of the tribe of Levi essentially put Aaron and his sons on our shoulders and bore them and did all the things that they needed us to do in order for them to do their job. So again, the high priest was like the spirit, the physical rather, or the humanoid manifestation of that Ark of the Covenant, right? And we're gonna go deeper into it.
Some of the high priest, what they wore. Crown.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and read that. Read that actually. Kind of select it. Am I showing? Yeah, I'm showing it. Go ahead, read that.
This is the book of SICARRI, chapter 45. I'm just getting to the point, verse 12. It's talking about Aaron. It says, he set a crown of gold upon Dimitri.
A crown of gold, right? The same way how this got that crown, like we just went into a second ago. Let me go ahead so I can see it. A crown of gold was on that high priest. Read.
A crown of gold upon Dimitri, wherein was graved holiness, an ornament of honor, a costly work, the desires of the eyes, goodly and beautiful.
You see that? Boom. Go ahead.
That's it on that. Just want to show the crown.
The crown on the high priest. Showing you who that is the manifestation of, right? Where was we at? Let's go to Deuteronomy 10 and 1. We're gonna read 1 to 5. So now that we've established the symbolic meaning of the shittim wood overlaying in gold, getting a crown, the parallel between the high priest Aaron and this covenant, the Ark of this covenant rather, let's go into the contents of the Ark of the Covenant. Real quick, and big salute to everybody who is sending in donations. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barak Thumb, especially the brother Derek Yehuda, constant in search of Jake. Somebody else who just sent a 10. Salaka, we ain't been Dominic Chapman. Everybody, man, salute to y'all. We ain't been watching the chat, so Salaka, we ain't get y'all. But Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barak Thumb, and of course, thank you for gracious donations and continual support of the ministry of the Most High. So yeah, let's go here. Yeah, Deuteronomy 10, 1 to 5. So we can now begin to understand what was inside this ark. Because an ark, as we read by definition, is a chest. It's like a time capsule that the Most High gave us. So let's take a look at the contents. We already know that the testimony is in there, but what else is in there? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 1. At that time, Yahweh said unto me, hew these two tables of stone like unto the first, and come up unto me into the mount, and make thee an ark of wood, and I will write on the tables the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest.
Right. And because what happened? Moses had it. He came down. He saw that gigantic, damn twerk, dance hall, salsa, reggaeton, a rain dance party that the 12 tribes were having.
It was so bad he thought it was a war.
All right. I mean, all 12 tribes having an all-out party. And he got so angry, he broke those stones that the Most High gave him. So he said, okay, we're going to make these again with the 10 on them, and we're going to put them in this ark, right? Read.
It says,
and our brothers, the tribe of Gad, replicated this at the lost lunar stone, right? But read.
It says, and thou shalt put them in the ark. It says, and I made an ark of shittim wood, and hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and went up into the mount, having the 2 tables in mine hands.
Read.
And he wrote on the tables, according to the first writing, the 10 commandments.
The 10 commandments, right? Go ahead.
Which Yahweh spake unto you in the mount of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly.
And that's beautiful, and we have to remember, y'all, as well, the symbology of the 10 commandments. Because we know in total there's 613 commandments, but 6 plus 1 plus 3 is what? 10. So we have to understand that there is very symbolic, and there are more layers to the understanding of these scriptures that I think are ignored a lot. And that's why we like to take time in lessons like these to amplify, right? Because the main point of this lesson, y'all, is the Ark of the Covenant and its current location, a place, something in a subject that's shrouded in mystery. But before we even get into where it currently is, we want to go ahead and teach y'all about it and show y'all the allegory behind it and what it truly symbolized, as well as how it actually looked. Because a lot of us are not as familiar as we probably should be with this very important vessel in our nation, right? This is a very important staple in our culture. And again, it's one of the most holy vessels that exists biblically, right? So go ahead.
You said all the way to 5?
All the way to 5.
It says the 10 commandments which Yahweh spake unto you in the mount of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly, and Yahweh gave them unto me. Verse 5. And I turned myself and came down from the mount and put the tables in the ark which I had made, and there they be as Yahweh commanded me.
That's right. So the 10 commandments on stone tablets were in this ark, right? So now give me Hebrews 9 and 4. Okay. Let's find out what else was in the ark.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 9 and verse 4. It says, which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot.
There was a golden pot in there. Read.
That had manna.
So that manna that fell from heaven that we ate was put in a golden pot and also put in the ark of the covenant. Read.
And Aaron's rod that budded.
Aaron's rod that, y'all got to understand something about the staff that was given to Aaron. And if y'all following our chronicle classes that we do Tuesday night / Wednesday morning, times vary. When we're going over the history, I can't wait. That's one of my favorite parts of the Bible. When Aaron's staff becomes a living thing, a staff that's hewn out of wood, that's not alive. God made it live. And it was so legendary that it was taken and it was put in the Ark of the Covenant. Right? Read on.
It says Aaron's rod that budded and the tables of the covenant.
It became a living, it budded, meaning it had life, plant life sprung out of this piece of wood, and almonds began to grow on this piece of wood. All that also have a symbolic meaning, but were a representation of how much the Most High was dealing with Aaron above everyone else during that time period. But this is what was in the ark. So we got manna, we got the tablets, and we got Aaron's rod, right? Anything else was in there?
It says, and over the cherubims of glory.
Yeah, the angels that were there. Okay, cool. Boom. So let's now go to Exodus 16 and 33 to 34. So we can read about this because, you have people that may dispute that these things were in there. So let's read now what is summed up in Hebrews. It's talked about directly right there in the Torah, verbatim. So what I want to do is read it, Hassad, in the KJV, and then read it in the NLT, 33 and 34.
Okay,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
Let me hook my mic up real quick.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is Exodus chapter 16, verse 33. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put on omer full of manna therein.
So take a pot, put an omer of the manna that we ate in that pot. Read on.
It says, and lay it up before Yahweh to be kept for your generations.
Go ahead.
And as Yahweh commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept.
So again, when we're dealing with the ark, which is this chest, it's like a time capsule, like I said, to bring us into remembrance of certain things. So there we have the law, right, to keeping us in remembrance of the law. We have that manna to keep us in remembrance of the Exodus and the 40 years of wandering and the things that we went through there. And then we have Aaron's staff there to remind us that the Most High is dealing with Aaron as far as the priesthood goes. That's the purpose for the things that are within this time capsule or this chest that is the Ark of the Covenant. But read that in the NLT.
This is Exodus chapter 16, verse 33 in the New Living Translation. Moses said to Aaron, get a jar and fill it with 2 quarts of manna. Then put it in a sacred place before Yahweh to preserve it for all future generations.
You see that? Which is the ark. Preserve it for all future generations. It's a time capsule, man. Read.
Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He eventually placed it in the Ark of the Covenant in front of the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant.
See that? Right. So now let's go to Numbers 17 and 10 and do the same thing. Read that in KJV and in NLT.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 17 and verse 10, starting in the King James Version. It says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, bring Aaron's rod again before the testimony, to be kept for a token against the rebels.
A token against the rebels, because they wanted to rebel against Aaron. They didn't want Aaron to be the priest. And here he goes. He says, you keep that rod in that ark so everybody can know Aaron is my priest, period. Right, read.
And thou shalt quit take away their murmurings from me, that they die not.
Basically, you should be able to show this staff and say, you don't question Aaron the priest. right? How is Aaron the priest represented? Through his offspring. You don't question that I'm dealing with these men, right? That's what the Most High is saying there, right? So give me that in the NLT.
This is Numbers chapter 17, verse 10 in the New Living Translation. It says, "And the Lord said to Moses, place Aaron's staff permanently before the Ark of the Covenant to serve as a warning to rebels. This should put an end to their complaints against me and prevent any further deaths."
You see that? Because I'm going to kill y'all. Y'all keep coming against Aaron like this, right? So now get Joshua 3 and 13.
Okay.
Same thing, KJV, NLT.
This is Joshua 3 and 13, starting with the King James Version. "And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of Yahweh, the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above."
Salakia, real quick, we're going to reread that. So now, again, we've gone over the symbolic meaning. We've gone over that also it represents Aaron. And we've gone over the context of the ark. Now we want to go into some of the history of the great things that were done with this very holy and powerful vessel. So read that again, Joshua 3 and 13. Salakia.
This is Joshua chapter 3, verse 13. "And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of Yahweh, the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above."
You see that? Go ahead.
And
that's 13.
There's more. It says, "And they shall stand upon a heap." That's it in the.
You see, and they shall stand upon a heap. So I want to read in the NLT so we can get a clear understanding of what was just described, because it could be a little confusing. Read that.
This is Joshua 3:13 in the New Living Translation. "The priests will carry the ark of the Lord of all the earth. As soon as their feet touch the water, the flow of water shall be cut off upstream, and the river will stand up like a wall."
You see that? So with this ark, the Levitical priest that bore it walked into that water and split and parted the Jordan River. The same way Moses parted the Red Sea, these priests were able to carry this ark into the Jordan River and part it. So this is how powerful this thing was. You were able to part the river with it, right? They're able to part the river with it. So skip to 17.
Verse 17.
You ain't got to read that thing.
It says, "And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Jordan. And all the Israelites passed over on dry ground until all the people were passed clean over Jordan."
Exactly. So we got to remember, sometimes we forget that Moses wasn't the only person that parted the sea. You had these brothers, these priests that were able to take the ark into the Jordan and part it. And guess what? Elijah also parted. He parted the Jordan as well, right?
Yeah. I was just about to say that.
Then we have the 7 streams and people walking over dry. There's other instances as well. But these are other times where the Most High had somebody to part the sea. 1 second. All right, Salaki, yeah. Where we at? Yeah, Joshua 6, 13 to 20. Go ahead.
Joshua chapter 6, verse 13. And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of Yahweh went on continually and blew with the trumpets. And the armed men went before them, but their reward came after the ark of Yahweh, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the second day they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days.
Right. So they were circling. This is Jericho that they're circling. So we were able to take this thing and part the Jordan River. Now we're circling Jericho for 6 days, just walking around it, blowing trumpets, and with this powerful ark, this mysterious, magical box. Right? Read.
And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priests blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for Yahweh hath given you the city. Verse 17. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, unto Yahweh. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent.
Right. So here we have this ark not only took us clear across Jordan, through the Jordan River, it also took down the walls of Jericho. That's the Most High used it as the anointed vessel to take the walls of Jericho down, along with the trumpets of the priests and the shout of the nation of Israel. Literally took the walls of Jericho down. Read.
God, 17.
Read to 20.
20. It says, and ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed. When ye take of the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto Yahweh. They shall come into the treasury of Yahweh. So the people shouted when the priest blew with the trumpets, and it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city.
That's right, and took the city. So now we have Jericho through the Most High setting up this ark, right? That was it on 20? Okay, let's go to 1 Samuel 4. And we're going to read this whole chapter. All right? Here in 1 Samuel 4. Because now we're going into, again, the historical importance of this ark. And this not only ties into the historical importance, but it ties into the ark symbolically representing the Aaronic high priest. Okay? The Aaronite high priest. Right? So read from the top.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse 1. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle, and pitched besides Ebenezer.
So we have a war with the Philistines, right? These Hamites, these Egyptians that had annexed a portion of Canaan, right? Read.
And the Philistines pitched in Aphek, and the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel. And when they joined battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines, and they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men.
All of this, if you guys are familiar with the historic value of this time period, the historic context, all of this relates back to a curse coming upon Eli and his sons for the wickedness of the sons of Eli. This is what this all relates to, so you can understand why the Most High allowed things to happen that happened, right? But read that.
It says, and when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, wherefore hath Yahweh smitten us today before the Philistines?
Why did God do this to us? Read.
Let us fetch the ark of the covenant.
Let's go get it. Right? Let's go get the Ark of the Covenant. Why? Because they're calling to mind, well, this Ark helped us to take the walls of Jericho down, and this Ark led us through the wilderness, and this Ark had us to part the Jordan River. Let's go get it so we can get our get back on the Philistines. Read.
let us fetch the ark of the covenant of Yahweh out of Shiloh unto us, that when it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hand of our enemies.
They said, if we got this, it's going to save us. The Most High going to be with that ark, right? Read.
So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of Yahweh of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. It says, and when the ark of the covenant of Yahweh came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again.
That's right. So they shouted with that great shout again, just like they did during the time of Jericho. So they thinking it's going to be just like Jericho, right, Reed?
And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, what meaneth the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of Yahweh was coming to the camp.
So the Philistines said, well, why are they so turned up? Oh, they got the ark over there, right? Read.
And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God is coming to the camp. And they said, woe unto us.
Their God is with them there. We're going to lose now if we fight against them when they got that ark. They understood the ark. They knew the exploits of the ark. They heard about the walls of Jericho falling. Read.
And
let me say this, quick sidebar for you idiots out there, you historical idiots. People go, well, there's no historical or archaeological evidence that the walls of Jericho fell. How about because they fell and we built a new town there? So why would there be any? People, there's no historical evidence of the Exodus. Wait a minute. So there's not historical evidence that people wandered around in the desert 3,000 years ago? Go figure. Why would there be?
They're in the desert, genius. You see someone sitting there with a damn, it was Sinetta back there with the
with the camera. Yo, the Hebrews are going through the Exodus, man. The Hebrews.
Zaryak in the reincarnation right there. My man, Gorilla Hebrew.
Hey, man, Sinetta was there. Zaryak, Gorilla Hebrew. We was back there, right? But, you know, not in that context. And actually, and the coldest thing is, there is actually the real Mount Sinai and actual archaeological evidence. The rock that got split, all of that is there, right? But not every single aspect of it. Why? Because that was maybe 3,000 years ago. What evidence do you expect to find of people wandering around the damn wilderness for 40 years? If somebody lived in a tent in the middle of the woods 3,000 years ago, what evidence would be there? Can you explain? It's stupid. Salakia, though. That's something that always kills me about these idiots who think they know something, right? But read that.
Yeah, not only that, water was running after us.
Yeah, hold on.
We went.
Water was running. I mean, so many things, so many various things. How stupid can you be to think that there's anything outside of a major civilization built? How much from 3,000 years ago can we honestly say that we have archaeological evidence of? That there's a damn monument of outside of megalithic structures? Come on now, man. Right? But go ahead, officer.
As a quick precept. Deuteronomy 2:25. This day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee.
That's right. They heard report. They heard report that these guys got this golden box, that if they walk around your town for a week with this golden box, your town will be destroyed. That put fear in people's heart. Naturally. The same way now. Yo, this nigga, man, he got this 1-2 combo that'll put any nigga on his ass. That strikes fear in the hearts of men. You see what I'm saying? So knowing that we was turned up because we had this Ark of the Covenant put instant fear in the hearts of the Philistines. But what we didn't understand at that time was that outside of the prophet Samuel was that the Most High had a divine design for Israel to lose this fight, because there was a high priest that had to get judgment for not restraining his wicked sons. So read.
It says, and they said, woe unto us, for there had not been such a thing heretofore. It says, woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness.
We know about what happened to the Egyptians. Here you got people who deny the Exodus, but you have civilizations that were afraid of because they heard about the fame of the Exodus. Read.
It says, be strong and quit yourselves like men, O ye Philistines.
He said, nah, go be men. We're going to fight these niggas. Right? Read.
It says, that ye be not servants unto the Hebrews, as they have been to you.
We've enslaved these people, but we're gonna make it so we don't make ourselves slaves to them. Right? Read.
It says, as they have been to you, quit yourselves like men and fight.
So they're doing this. They read these Hamites. They rally themselves up. They want to put us back in slavery. Read.
It says, verse 10, and the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, and they fled every man into his tent.
So we fought. We had the ark. We thought we had a guaranteed dub. Guess what? The Philistines prevailed again. Read.
It says, and there was a very great slaughter.
A lot of niggas died. Now read.
It says, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen.
A lot of niggas died. Go ahead.
And the ark of God was taken.
The ark was taken. Read.
And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain.
That's what this was all about. Hophni and Phinehas getting their judgment. Them Philistines wasn't going to make it to Shiloh. You know why they weren't going to make it to Shiloh? You have something called Homeland Security in Shiloh. What's Homeland Security? Every Levite is going to encamp around that tent, and you're going to die if you get close to that tent. Period. Right?
There's no way. You're better off trying to break into the White House.
So let's go to Deuteronomy 33 tells you that.
Fort Knox.
Right? Fort Knox. Try to go there. Try to break into the damn Federal Reserve before you try to go in that temple. Save a couple of guys that were able to do it. Right? Namely, Nebuchadnezzar. So here we have that. They weren't going to go to Shiloh to get it. Right? That's not how the battle was. So the Most High said, I'm going to make these niggas get their ass whooped and get a thought in their mind that if they get the ark, they're going to win. They're going to go with the ark. They're going to lose. And now they're going to be able to get the ark and judge Hophni and Phinehas for being the wicked brothers that they are. Right? So read.
Verse 12. You want me to read all the way to the end of the chapter?
Oh, we're reading this whole chapter.
Okay, It says, and there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes rent and with earth upon his head. And when he came, lo, Eli sat upon his seat by the wayside, watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of God. And when the man came into the city and told it, all the city cried out. And when Eli heard the noise of the crying, he said, what meaneth the noise of this tumult? And the man came in hastily and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old.
So he went and told Eli, look, your sons are dead. The ark is taken. Remember, Eli is high priest. The ark is synonymous with the high priest. The high priest is the human version of this ark, right? So read.
No, it says, his eyes were dim that he could not see. And the man said unto Eli, I am he that come out of the army, and I fled today out of the army. And he said, what is there done, my son?
You fled. Well, what happened? Go ahead.
And the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there hath been also a great slaughter among the people. And thy two sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead.
Your sons are dead, Eli. Right?
And the ark of God is taken.
And the ark is taken.
It's terrible news, bro.
Horrible. The ark is taken, which is a symbol of him. Read.
And it came to pass when he made mention of the ark of God that he fell from off the seat.
When he made mention of what?
Of the ark of God.
Not of his sons, of what?
Of the ark of God.
Which again, he is synonymous with. Read.
That he fell from off the seat backward by the side of the gate and his neck brake.
You see that? Go ahead.
And he died.
He died. Just as the ark was taken, his life was taken. Showing you that irrevocable parallel between the Aaronic high priest and that ark. Read.
For he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel 40 years.
So now he's dead. Go ahead.
Verse.
And that was all a part of the judgment that came upon his sons and him. But the judgment came upon him because his sons were wicked as hell, and he sat back and allowed it. He was old. He was heavy. He had given about 40 years of service. Read.
And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of God was taken, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and travailed, for her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the woman that stood by her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answered not, neither did she regard it. And she named the child Ichabod, saying, The glory is departed from Israel, because the ark of God was taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband.
Yeah, Ichabod, which is Kabawad, which literally means no glory. No, there's no glory.
I hate to be buddy, bro.
I hate to be a nigga named
no
Ichabod.
Glory.
Right? Ain't no glory. Yeah, go ahead. Hey, we no glow. Team no glow. We ain't with that glow. Go ahead.
And she said, the glory is departed from Israel, for the ark of God is taken.
You see that? Keep going.
That's
Salakia. Read 20 again.
Verse 20. And about the time of her death.
And about what?
The time of her death.
So them two niggas was killed, and the news of it killed Eli, and the news of them two and Eli died killed this woman in labor. Now let's go read into 5, and we go read 1 to 10 in 1 Samuel 5, because this story keeps going on, right? So read.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 5, verse 1. And the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon.
That's right. So their God is Dagon. Dagon is the fish. Dagon, matter of fact, let's
I remember reading this when I was like 16, how mad I was.
This is a horrible thing. Right? So watch this. If y'all ever seen this, people have it on their cars, right? You may have seen this on people's cars. I'm gonna show y'all now on people's cars. Come on. You see this, what they call the, see that y'all see this around? You see it on people's cars, right? This is Dagon, right? Watch this. Right, this is how Dagon priests used to do it, the same way the Catholic priests get all their stuff. That's what you see now, right? But this was the god of the Philistines, so you can understand, right? Go ahead.
It says, verse 3, and when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face. I think so.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's a little early for them to be shooting already. Go ahead.
And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of Yahweh. And they took Dagon and set him in his place again.
So, you know, of course, he's not real, but they have that fish statue and it keeps falling. Boom. Why is it falling? Because the ark is in there. This thing still has power. Don't get it twisted. Read.
And when they rose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of Yahweh.
Every morning their God was on his face. Read.
Oh, man. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold.
Now they cut off. He's beheaded and his arms is cut off. His ligaments is missing.
When you cut off someone's head, he's gone. And then when you slit someone's wrist too, they're really gone. It's just overkill. Overkill on Dagon.
That's right.
Dagon is way gone.
That's right.
It says, and both the palms of his hands were cut off from the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him.
It was just a stump. Right, go ahead.
Therefore, neither the priests of Dagon nor any that come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod.
They wouldn't go in there anymore. They wouldn't go in the house. They were so afraid because they brought that ark up in there. Now they're thinking twice. They're having buyer's remorse. Read.
Unto this day. But the hand of Yahweh was heavy upon them of Ashdod. And he destroyed them and smote them with emerods, even Ashdod.
So look, he didn't need Israel to go in there. He got rid of their God just by having that ark, the ark there, and then he destroyed them with what?
It said, and smote them with emerods.
With what? Emerods. What are emerods? Hemorrhoids. Yeah, niggas is outside dumping, huh?
You're shooting outside?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
What is going on? All right, go ahead.
But that just goes to show you too that because this whole thing with them even getting the ark in the first place was for the punishment of Eli's sons. But
now that's accomplished.
Yeah, and so he's still destroying the heathen. He still don't care about them. He's like, okay, I'm gonna use you guys to do this, but I'm still going to jack y'all up. It says, even Ashdod and the coast thereof. And when the men of Ashdod saw that it was so, they said, the ark of the God of Israel shall not abide with us, for his hand is sore upon us and upon Dagon our God.
He said, listen, this we got to get rid of this thing because he's just jacking us up. And he's then killed our God. We got to get rid of this damn thing. Go ahead. Where you at?
I'm at verse 8. It says, they sent therefore and gathered all the lords of the Philistines unto them and said, what shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel?
We got to figure out what the hell to do with this thing because this is a curse to us. Right? Read on.
And they answered, let the ark of the God of Israel be carried about unto Gath. And they carried.
Get rid of it. Take it to Gath. So we want to leave Ashdod. Were they in Ashdod?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Philistines, they got 3 cities: Ashkelon, Ashdod, and Gath. They said, listen, we want to take that to Gath. Right? Read on.
It says, unto Gath, and they carried the ark of the God of Israel about thither. And it was so that after they had carried it about, the hand of Yahweh was against the city with a very great destruction.
So they brought it to Gath. Now the Most High destroying Gath. Read.
And he smote the middle of the city, both small and great, and they had emerods in their secret parts.
How? He gave them hemorrhoids. He gave them unbearable hemorrhoids.
I was just the greatest.
Showing you, I don't need to. That's why they call him Alishajah. I don't even need Israel to rise up as an army and go and kill these niggas. And I'm mad at y'all right now any damn way. So I'm going to do it myself by breaking these people out, this whole nation of people out with unbearable hemorrhoids. Yeah. They can't even sit down.
Yeah. You don't fear that? You don't fear a being that can do that can just give a whole town hemorrhoids?
Man, that's serious. Right? You was at 10?
Right here. It says, therefore, they sent the ark of God to Ekron.
Now they going to Ekron, another one of their damn cities. Ekron, Ashkelon, Ashdod, Gath, right, Reed?
And it came to pass, as the ark of God came to Ekron, that the Ekronites cried out, saying, they have brought about the ark of the God of Israel to us.
They saw that ark and nah, nigga, we don't even want that, Reed.
To slay us and our people.
You want us to die bringing that to us, Reed?
That's 10.
That's 10. Okay, let's go to 6. Y'all get the picture. This is continually just happening, right? So go to 6 and read 1 to 3 in 1 Samuel 6.
It's 1 Samuel 6 and 1. And the ark of Yahweh was in the country of the Philistines 7 months. And the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying,
they got their priests, they got their diviners who wore the same fish outfit your Pope wears and your Catholic pedophile priests wear. Read.
What shall we do to the ark of Yahweh? Tell us wherewith we shall send it to his place.
Listen, we need to get it back to where it belongs. That's what we need to do. Read.
And they said, if ye send away the ark of the God of Israel, send it not empty.
They said, listen, you better send it back with a gift, kissing these Israelites' asses, because we don't need to have this amongst us. We need to appease this people and their God. Read.
But in any wise, return him a trespass offering, then he shall be healed, and it shall be known to you.
We got to give them something of an offering, and then maybe God will be decent to us, and will stop giving us hemorrhoids. Read.
And it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from you. That's you said
that's 3.
That's 3.
Okay, so now let's go to 2 Samuel. Right. So I just wanted to go over this whole chronicle and show you how powerful and magnificent our God is, and this vessel is that He ordained, and the various history that is shrouded in. But now 2 Samuel 6 and 16.
So 2 Samuel chapter 6 verse 16. And as the ark of Yahweh came unto the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window and saw King David leaping and dancing before Yahweh.
So that time when David was turned up dancing so much that it read.
It says, and she despised him in her heart.
She hated the way, but he was getting down and dancing. Why was he partying? Why was he feeling it dancing so much? He danced, as you read in the account, out of his garment. Brother down. Hey, listen, he did sea walk out of his garment. Was because he was so excited about the Ark of the Covenant. It's how important this vessel is, right? Now 1 Kings 2 and 26, and we'll end the historical portion on that, and now get into what you guys have all been waiting for as to where in the hell is this thing? Where is it?
Right,
but go ahead, read that first.
This is 1 Kings chapter 2 verse 26. And unto Abiathar, the priest, said the king, get thee to Anathoth and unto thine own fields, for thou art worthy of death. But I will not at this time put thee to death, because thou bearest the ark of Yahweh before David my father, and because thou hast been afflicted in all wherein my father was afflicted.
So Solomon said, I should kill you, nigga, but you carried that ark, and that means something. So I'm not going to kill you. Just get the hell out of my sight. You see what I'm saying? That's how important this vessel is and will forever be. Will be until the new covenant is there, and it will still be important, but it's not going to hold the same importance when the new covenant finally is implemented. But with that, that's it on the historical portion. Let's now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, move into the next portion, which deals with the current location of this. Some say, matter of fact, you know what? Let's do some anticipation. Let's build some anticipation. Beak, hold on.
Yeah. Let's hear some of the lies.
Yeah.
Some of the lies of what they say where it's at.
Yeah, let's do that, because we here at the SICARRI have discovered the location of the Ark of the Covenant through the Spirit.
Bring it up.
Of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man.
So get mad about that.
You know, people can get upset about it. We I'm not saying we're the only people who know where it is, but the Most High certainly revealed it. And all praises to him for it. So let's take a look at some of these theories here. Possible location. Since its disappearance from the biblical narrative, there has been a number of claims of having discovered or of having possession of the ark, and several possible places have been suggested for its location. We have Mount Nebo, right? Then we have Ethiopia. We have South Africa, where our brothers from the Limba tribe allege that they got it in one of their mountains. A little supposed to build respect to.
I just want to say, I'm not going to say who it is, not to spoil it, but we do have a correct. Oh, Deacon spoiled. Never mind.
What do you do?
We have a correct answer in the chat.
So, oh, okay. Somebody has a correct answer in the chat. Okay. Some people say it's in Europe, in France. Imagine that. The white man got it. French author Louis Carpentier claimed the ark was taken from the Chartres Cathedral by the Knights Templar. It's in France, apparently. Some say René Le Chateau, and then it was taken to the U.S. Apparently, it's here in America. Imagine that. Rome, somewhere in Britain, Ireland. Ireland's got it. Wow. Some people say it's in King Tut's tomb. Wow. Oh yeah, a lot of people have been putting that Raiders of the Lost Ark picture up lately. I don't know why everybody's freaking out about the Paleo Hebrew. Paleo Hebrew is not like the secret that certain Israelites painted out to be. People know about at least the pictographs, maybe not how to speak it, but the pictographs. So that tetragrammaton appearing in a pictograph is something you'll see all over, media, movies, and things of that nature. But in pop culture, we see it in Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The Ark of the Covenant is talked about. It is the whole plot of the Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is that Indiana Jones movie. So yeah, it's talked about in Assassin's Creed, etc. So now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, spoiler alert, of course, was in the chat. We're going to go into its current location. So now, Deacon, you can go into it. What I'm gonna do is you said what?
No.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, D. I'm gonna put the picture up.
Okay, I'm gonna screen share. Matter of fact, I like that picture. Let's just keep the picture.
Okay.
And I'll call the scriptures for Hassad to read.
Beautiful.
Hassad, first and foremost, I wasn't on for the introduction, so let me give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Thank the Most High for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This truth is ever growing. It's living water. A river doesn't stop. It keeps flowing, my brothers and sisters.
Yes, it's like Aaron Stabler we was going into, man. It became a living thing.
That's right. So let's get 2 Chronicles chapter 35, Shatar Hassad. And let's read 1 to 3. And this is the last time we see the Ark of the Covenant in the Bible. And this is roughly 620 BC. Prior to the invasion of the Babylonians, a lot of brothers and sisters don't know, but the Babylonians sacked us 3 times. There was 3 waves. He took some kings, then he took a few more, and then he just decimated the temple and took everybody. So it goes from about 605 to 590 to 586, I believe. But let's get this account. This is the last time we see the ark. Go ahead, Ark.
This is 2 Chronicles 35:1. Moreover, Josiah kept a Passover unto Yahweh in Jerusalem, and they killed the Passover on the 14th day of the first month. And he set the priests in their charges and encouraged them to the service of the house of Yahweh, and said unto the Levites that taught all Israel, which were holy unto Yahweh, put the holy ark in the house which Solomon the son of David, king of Israel, did build. It shall not be a burden upon your shoulders. Serve now the Lord your God and his people Israel. So there was the last account of us having the ark and putting it back into the temple, because Egypt, the kings of Egypt,
were attacking us and taking us down before Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians ultimately took us down. So we see it being placed back in the temple with King Josiah, roughly 620 BC, right? And now let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 36, one chapter over, start at verse 6. We're going to read about the, I believe this was the first invasion. This will be the first invasion. This will be like 605 to 610 circa, what the scholars would say according to conventional chronology, which is not always 100, but that's all we have to go on. So let's get the account of Nebuchadnezzar sacking the temple, and let's see if the ark was there. Then we're going to tell you why it wasn't there. Go ahead.
This is 2 Chronicles 36 and 6. Against him came up Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and bound him in fetters to carry him to Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar also carried of the vessels of the house of Yahweh to Babylon and put them in his temple at Babylon.
So he's got the vessels, right? Go ahead. Keep going.
Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and his abominations which he did, and that which was found in him, behold, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah, and Jehoiakim his son reigned in his stead. Keep going?
Yep, keep going to 10.
Verse 9, Jehoiakim was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months and 10 days in Jerusalem, and he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh. And when the year was expired, King Nebuchadnezzar sent and brought him to Babylon with the goodly vessels of the house of Yahweh.
With the goodly vessels of the house of Yahweh. Key point. But it's not mentioning the greatest thing that was in the temple, which was the ark. And there's a reason for that. Right? We'll get to it so we can show you who took it, where he put it, and where it's at now. Keep going. Is that it on that? Yeah. In the verse 10. Go ahead.
And made Zedekiah his brother king over Judah and Jerusalem.
Okay, now get 2 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 4 to 7. We're going to show you why the ark wasn't in the temple during the time of Nebuchadnezzar desecrating our temple. Go ahead.
This is 2 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 4. It was also contained in the same writing that the prophet, being warned of God, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him as he went forth into the mountain where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of God.
Okay, so those who don't know, Jeremiah wasn't in the Babylonian captivity. Okay, so he was fortunate to escape that captivity and to get to the ark and hide it, because he was privy. He was the one who was telling everybody we're about to do 70 years. Isaiah as well, because they're contemporaries. But he was telling everybody we about to do 70 years in Babylon. So he was privy to that, to the prophecy. So he was able to get in there to get the ark and to take it where? Read that again.
It says he went forth into the mountain where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of God.
So he went where Moses got translated. Go ahead. Which Brother Alazar, we was just joking. He said that's a teleporting location, man. All right, that's a portal over there.
That's right, like it.
Right. Go ahead.
Remember, but right before he died, y'all, it's where literally when it says the heritage of God, he took him to that mountain. He said, "Look, this is Israel. You ain't gonna get to go in there, but that's it." You know.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And when Jeremiah came thither, he found an hollow cave, wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door.
So he hid the ark and then he sealed the door.
No, what did it say? Read that part again, Salaki.
And when Jeremiah came thither, he found an hollow cave, wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense.
You see that? So he got the incense altar, the tabernacle, y'all, which is the tent, and the Ark of the Covenant. So not just the ark is there, the incense altar and the tabernacle, the actual tent, right? Read.
And so
which is the ram skin dyed red. Go ahead.
And so stop the door. And you want me to keep going?
Sealed the door, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Con. It says, and
you wanted to elaborate on that, Alazar?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it.
They lost.
Go ahead.
They lost him.
So this is the reason why the Most High had to take the ark up to heaven, and we're going to show that in the Bible. It's clearly in the Bible. It's not some deep, dark revelation. We've been reading over it for years, but it clearly says this, and we're going to show you where. But this is the reason why the Most High had to take it, because niggas is trying to follow Jeremiah to get it, to take it out.
And the same way the 12 or the certain apostles that were at the Transfiguration wanted to make tabernacles for Moses, Yahushua, and Elijah. The same way they wanted to go and find where Moses was, and they was probably going to venerate Moses during that time period. We have this problem, you know. Right. So the Most High, he got to do something. So he had to take Moses' body from the earth. He had to translate Moses after he died.
Yeah, that's crazy you said that, because when I read this, all of these scriptures, the main thing I think about is them, the Most High having to take Moses' body, because they wanted to take it and Lord knows do what with the body. And so there's just certain cases like that where the Most High would just go on ahead and take a brother up, or take a holy instrument up. All right, and we'll prove it with the Bible. So keep going.
It says, which when Jeremiah perceived, he blamed them, saying, as for that place, it shall be unknown until the time that the Most High gather his people again together.
Okay, so you see that? So this book was sealed according to Daniel. This book was sealed according to Revelation. So when Yahushua went up, he loosened them seals, right? The seals didn't start getting loosed and manifesting until 70 AD, and then all the way up till now. So this is the end time where we're being gathered, and now the Most High has showed the children of Israel where the ark is. Other brothers and sisters might know this, but I'll tell you what, almost 10 years in, I've never heard a brother going to where the ark is. So we see we're in the end times, we're being gathered, and now the Most High revealed it, right? Keep going. Is that verse 10?
No.
Or verse 7?
That's it says, until the time that the Most High gathers people again together and receive them unto mercy. That's the end of 7.
All right. And so that's the time we're in, and that's why it's being revealed. Now, let's go to Revelation 11 and 19. And this is clearly going to tell you where the ark is right here. Let's get let's get some context. Maybe start at verse 17.
Okay, this is Revelation 11 and 17, saying, we give thee thanks, O Lord God Almighty, which art and was and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. Verse 18, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Verse 19.
Key point, verse 19. Go ahead.
And the temple of God was opened in heaven.
Where was the temple opened?
In heaven.
So there's a temple in heaven. Even the prophets of old knew this. We're going to substantiate that. Let's read that. Keep going. Let's read that since we're already here.
And there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament.
What was seen in the temple in heaven?
The ark of his testament.
The ark of his testament. The same word in the Greek for testament is covenant. The same New Testament, New Covenant, it's all the same. It's the same word. It's just transliterated into a different word in the English. All right. Same word. You look at this word in the Greek, it's the ark of the covenant. All right. So John is seeing the ark of the covenant in the temple in heaven. That's where it's at. Why? Because when Jeremiah hit it, they was trying to go and get it and take it. So the Most High took it up. All right. So let's substantiate the fact that as it is in heaven, so it is on earth. Let's get Isaiah chapter 6. Start at verse 1.
This is Isaiah chapter 6, starting from the top. So it says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne.
So did the Most High got a body? Is he an anthological being? Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
High and lifted up, and his train filled the temple.
Filled the what?
Filled the temple.
So this is not some New Testament concept. This isn't something that John the Revelator is just dreaming about. This is actually real.
It is a temple in the heavens.
Right. The temple in the heaven. Go ahead.
Verse 2, above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly.
Is that what verse is that? Let's read. Go to verse 4.
Verse 3, and one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahweh of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. Verse 4, and the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke.
There's the door. The same as the door to get into the holies of holies. All right, which a lot of y'all don't even know. The holies of holies is 1/3 of the temple.
That's right.
Which the temple is 60 cubits. The holies of holies is 20 cubits. That's 1/3. So the 1/3 is what? The holies of holies.
That's right.
Right? Y'all don't know about that temple knowledge. We got to bring that back out. So let's go from there to Jeremiah chapter 3, and then let's read verse 15 to let's read verse 15 to 18.
This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And it shall come to pass, when ye be multiplied and increased in the land, in those days, saith Yahweh, they shall say no more the ark of the covenant of Yahweh.
You see that? So like Elazar was saying, like it's not coming back to the earth. We're not even, once the kingdom come, the most high, the glory, right? And Yahweh Shah the king with the elect and the spiritual powers that we get, we're not going to need the ark anymore to make rivers split or to have power or to march around walls. We just going to break them shits down with that spiritual rod that Christ is going to give us.
That's right.
According to Revelation chapter 2. So we're not going to need it. The scripture said we ain't even going to think about it anymore. And this is how you know, because I want to say something real quick off topic. When you read verse 18, this is how you know that the northern kingdom didn't come to Babylon to be captive. This is how we know the land of the north is the Americas, and that you know, our northern kingdom brothers are over here predominantly, because it says when this happens, we're not going to remember the ark anymore. And then we're going to go into the land with the northern kingdom. We're going to be taken out of the land of the north. This is all end time connotation, eschatology, what they say. So read that verse again, and then we're going to keep going.
It says, and it shall come to pass, when ye be multiplied and increased in the land, in those days, saith the Lord, they shall say no more the ark of the covenant of Yahweh. Neither shall it come to mind.
Neither shall it come to mind. Go ahead.
Neither shall they remember. Neither shall they remember it.
Neither shall they remember it. So we're not even going to remember the ark of the covenant. And it's not literal, because you know we're going to have all knowledge, but it's going to be it's not going to be needed. It's not going to be a big deal anymore. Okay, go ahead.
It says, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done anymore.
Yeah, because remember,
neither shall they visit it, because it's in the temple in heaven with the Most High.
That's right. And going back to one of the points I made early on, it's a time capsule to bring us in remembrance of that Aaron's staff is in there to let everybody know not to rebel against Aaron. And the law is in there so everybody can remember the law. And the manna is in there to remember the time when we came out of Egypt. But we're not going to remember that Egypt, because we're going to be remembering come out the land of the north. Everyone is going to know to keep the law and to not rebel against Aaron, period. So, I mean, it's all going to be there. So, you know, it's purposeless what, you know, the ark, with the purpose of the ark, it will be purposeless in the kingdom under the new covenant. And all these things, along with a plethora and laundry list of other evidence that's been brought out through the Spirit, are all definitive proof we are definitively not in the new covenant right now.
Right.
It's asinine to think that, you know?
Yeah, that actually proves, like you were saying earlier, you know, until we don't remember the ark of the covenant, we're not in the new covenant. This is what Jeremiah is saying.
That's right, That's right, yeah.
It's just like when he says we're not going to remember the Exodus anymore.
Because remember, this is the ark of the covenant. Of what covenant? The old covenant that we're still under right now. But when the new covenant comes in, what is the point of the ark of the old covenant?
Good point. We got to add that into the New Testament, the new covenant slaughter session.
That's right.
But yeah, finish. Let's just stop at 18, and then if you want to open it up for questions, we can. Hasak.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Salak.
Verse 17 and
18.
verse 18.
I got you. It says, verse 17, at that time they shall call Jerusalem the throne of Yahweh.
At that time, Jerusalem wasn't called the throne of Yahweh and increased, and we didn't remember the ark. This hasn't took place yet. Go ahead.
It says, and all the nations shall be gathered unto it, to the name of the Lord, to Jerusalem. Neither shall they walk. This is body bags. This is just to the new covenant. Right. Neither shall they walk anymore after the imagination of their evil heart.
God, meaning we're going to be holy and righteous. That new covenant is going to be in our heart. Go ahead.
In those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel. And they shall come together out of the lands of the north. To the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers.
So this is how we know the land of the north is where the Israelites are at right now. And when they leave this place, they're going back to the land to be perfect. And they're no longer going to remember the Ark of the Old Covenant because they'll finally be in the New Covenant, which is only for the house of Israel and the house of Judah.
That's right.
And with that, I say, open it up, do whatever you want to do. Any questions on the matter or any questions on anything else?
Yeah, we'll take questions for a few minutes, y'all. Few minutes. We'll take some questions real quick. While we're waiting for the questions, I'm gonna make this special, very special announcement now. Y'all know we've been plugging the summit. We got the summit, but the following weekend in Atlanta, we also got some stuff going on. So I want to announce that, as y'all know, the weekend after the summit, which is February 1st to the 3rd, is Super Bowl weekend in Atlanta. And SICARRI and HOI will be there on the streets through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, Most High willing, February 1st to the 3rd, downtown Atlanta, in and around and near the stadium as well as elsewhere. We're going to be boots on the ground. So this is the first I'm announcing this. Again, this is going to be a SICARRI and HOI unity project through the spirit. So again, if y'all in Atlanta, please come to the summit, the 24th to the 27th. Then you can come check us out the next weekend. And of course, we have our camp as well as HOI has their camp every week there in Atlanta. But yeah, man, any questions, go ahead. Let me know the questions, officer.
What y'all think of people saying the Bantu is the house of Israel?
The people who say the Bantu are the house of Israel are quite frankly idiots. I'll explain. Bantu does not denote an ethnic group. It is a type of language. It's a type of language. So if they are saying that the language in and of itself is what unites those people, we have to understand that we and the Canaanites spoke the same language. That's why Hebrew is also called the language of Canaan. So to think that those people are all Israelites, you're out of your damn mind. Some people who speak Bantu languages are certainly Israelites, some. When I say some, I mean a minority. Okay, but to say that the house of Israel, meaning the northern kingdom, are those Hamites over there that don't have nearly don't suffer the curses the way that we do, or our Latino and indigenous people to the Americas do, you're out of your damn mind.
Could the sons of thunder call fire from heaven as they wanted to?
I don't have any evidence of the sons of thunder calling fire from heaven.
Oh God, should I just get rid of Jaden Slayer? Remember that one dude who threw away second Ezra's?
Oh, that nigga's got to go.
You gotta go. You gotta go, Jaden Slayer. Yeah. The way you can find out Yahushua is Messiah is if you deny him and he cuts your head off. At least you repent.
We have a million videos on it. Go watch it.
Let me get some of these questions. Where was it during the Babylonian captivity? Nehemiah, we told you that Jeremiah hit it before the Babylonian captivity. Rewatch the video. When is Deacon bringing out the order of prophecies about, like, you know, the missiles, martial law, famine? You know, Lord willing, we'll try to do one whole live stream about that, or we can do a series on it. It's up to Chief on that. I think that'll be really good to go, you know, martial law,
these final prophecies.
Yeah, how the order of things is going to go.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like a powerful class in the spirit.
How can you repent from secret sins from years ago you might have forgotten?
Stop. Just don't do them again.
Well, he said he forgot. He may have committed some sins he forgot, which is why you, me personally, when I ask for forgiveness, you know, I like to mention, forgive me for my sins knowingly and unknowingly, because we're living in a society where you might be on your job and shake the hand of a woman who's on her period, and now you're unclean. And so we commit so many sins unknowingly. You gotta ask for those. I would suggest asking for forgiveness for those sins as well.
Yeah, just for everything, whether you know it or not.
Hassan, go ahead, grab a couple.
If reincarnation is true and your spirit comes back, will we return back to our original physical appearance since we all started so-called black?
You can theorize that.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be team light skin in there.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, there's not any definitive. That's like I said, it's a theory. But go ahead.
What does it mean when the scripture says the Sabbath was made for man?
It means literally just that. The purpose for the Sabbath is so men can rest and not work themselves to death.
We got a Star Mullet guy. All right, well, I'll give you a chance. Yishak Israel, are you asking about that, or are you accusing us of that?
Oh my God, man! Y'all niggas be wild, man. And like you'll hear some camp give some half-cocked, or some nut give some half-cocked answer, or try to, you know, convolute history and scripture to create a doctrine, and then you literally just take it as gold. It's the Star of Molech. That's so it's honestly laughable for you to say that, biblically and historically.
How come it says only to stay away from fornication and things sacrificed to idols and eating blood in Acts?
Because they were saying to the people who were brand new to the faith, who were in a Gentile state of mind, living in Gentile lands, this is where they need to start from. Just tell them, as of right now, you're new, you're coming into the truth. Don't fornicate. Stay away from things sacrificed to idols. That's simple. The same way all of us, we learn the scriptures. When we first coming in, we don't automatically the next day cold turkey start keeping every single law.
When's the next debate?
We're not debating for the next coming months. After the Passover, we may consider taking some debates. So that's March 18th.
There's so many questions. We gotta start doing just a long Q&A.
Yeah, we may have to just do a Q&A class.
What's the exact meaning of Deuteronomy 23:8?
The after 3 generations.
Yeah.
Well, after 3 generations is dealing with the people that was doing amongst us during that time period when we was coming out of when we was not coming out of Egypt but going into the land of Egypt, of the Egyptian people, the Edomites, etc.
Here's a good question. Have you had a chance to study the Benin Wall and the Igbo pyramids?
The Benin Wall, I believe so. And the Igbo pyramids, I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them. What about them? Anything else, officer?
Let's see. When so-called, oh no, hold on.
Read King Israel's.
I'm about to. Yeah. In the parable of the prodigal son, could Yahushua be also referring to the northern kingdom as the lost one, and the faithful son, the southern kingdom?
No, he's not talking about northern kingdom and southern kingdom. You got to understand. There are certain instances but there are very few instances where it's just talking about the northern kingdom. It's talking about all of the Israelites that left and discontinued from Israel. So that would be northern kingdom and Gentile southern kingdom. So it's not just talking about the northern kingdom. But what he was doing was preparing the 12 to go and preach to the Gentilized Israelites, the Hellenized Israelites that were scattered throughout Greece, Galatia, Pontia, Cappadocia, etc. That's what it was about, right? But go ahead.
Matthew 1 and Matthew 1 and Luke 3 genealogy is dealing with a levirate marriage, and that's according to history. I don't want to say primary sources, but it's a source that spoke with the family who were descendants of the brothers of Hamashiach Yahushai. We did an in-depth lesson on this. We might have to bring it out again because it's such an in-depth in the top. Julius Africanus, is that his name?
No,
black historian, brother.
Oh yeah, Africanus, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's a historian. Some may call him an early church father, but he sheds light on the two different genealogies because it doesn't say Mary. That would be you asserting, and reading that into the text. So 12 feathers. Go look it up. SICARRI 12 feather breakdown. Really good breakdown. 2nd Ezra 12, 11, and 12.
You know.
Okay. I think we wrapped things up pretty well.
Huh?
Yeah,
I would certainly agree.
Okay. Any questions? Any questions? You know, hit up Exodus 1715. Any brothers inquiring on different congregations and school locations, hit up Exodus 1715. That's without an E. XODUS 1715@gmail.com. Chief, take us out.
Yeah, man. Again, y'all, next weekend is going down Atlanta, Georgia, January 24th to the 27th. It's not too late. Get there again. And I got to mention, all this stuff is free.
Hey, look what Slakia, look what the last question was. Who are the 24 elders in Revelation?
Ooh, who did that? Hey, listen, y'all just stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yahweh was working and he's revealing his secrets to his servants, the prophets.
That's right.
As he said he would do nothing but reveal the secret to the servants, the prophets. So we know it, and that's how we know who the servants and the prophets are in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But it's going down January 24th to the 27th, this upcoming Thursday to Sunday. All this stuff is free food, just spiritual brotherhood, unity, sisterhood, nationhood, man. It's going to be powerful. Join us in the A, man. Join us, man. With that, again, we give all praises, all honor, and all the glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, and we say Shalom.
Shalom.